Politics, problems, boring advertisements, and Aloz Nogrog by a new record label. Hi, and welcome back to the only Goa Trans one-man news network with me, one man. New record labels can be fun, but this is the news, and the news isn't fun. It's hard and full of responsibility, which I at the news take very seriously. Quite frankly, I love both responsibility and new record labels, but what does that mean? What's that got to do with anything? Why should you care about that? Well, you have to care about us. We're the news. A new label and album can bring with it a completely new vibe with new faces, and ideally they are born from a group of people who want a place for their music to be heard. And sometimes that means that style or particular thing that gives that sound its edge might not already be out there. That is exciting. That is Nutzecker Records. Yeah, that's right, Nutzecker Records. See, I can do that. I can lie. I'm the news. Allow me to correct the record. The real name is Kandiszucker Records, and they're bringing us Goa Trance from the Black Forest. Although I haven't personally been to the Black Forest myself, I can only imagine that it's the kind of place that Black Goa Trance music originates from. And I'd be right to think that. Of course I'm right. I'm the news. I'm way far right, baby. And although I am the media and in constant lookout for people to hate for things, I can't bring myself to do it to this label. Because hell, I might just revere this style of music. They usually call that a conflict of interest. But I say fuck them, because they can't fire me. Only I will fire me. Unless it's discovered that I like to touch my intern's breasts, and then they will most certainly fire me. The album features names new and old. Nutella, Theiamani, Morichino, Triquetra. I love Triquetra. Narziss and Goldmund, Galactic Wisdom, Morioun. Hell yeah, that guy's last EP was the kind of music that a spooky scarecrow would make. Zoon, another killer, the Slavs from Mars, and if you haven't already heard them on the Global Sect VA Trinity release, then let me tell you it's newsworthy. And finally, Hada. Are you kidding me with this lineup? Are you yanking my chain? Well, I've got fact checkers and they're not. Nutella at track 1, and thank any of the gods for that, because nothing helps ratings like murderers and chocolate brand names. A nice groovy opening track that gives us an introduction to this album style and doesn't do anything to scare you away. And good, with ratings what they are with the YouTubes and the Substacks, the last thing this news network needs is to scare our last 120 viewers. That being said, it might actually be the most evil and spooky track on the compilation. I know that doesn't exactly line up with what I said 2 sentences ago. So what? Do you think integrity helps me tell you the news? If anything, it gets in the goddamn way. Hypocrisy is the name of the game, and Virus Conspiracy is the name of this track, which will be the last time you ever hear me mention anything to do with a viral conspiracy ever again. Because it is not the job of this journalistic organisation to look into anything that threatens our bottom line. And from this day on, everything that I, the news, do not personally tell you is a fact will be labelled a conspiracy. Track 2 is a prime example of why Goa and Forest Trance go so well together. The kick drum is warm and soft, and the people love things that are warm and soft. Like a segment on cute puppies, right after I show you live footage of a Yemeni family burning to death after an AI drone strike. Just kidding. I would never report on the bombings in Yemen. I'm the news. The speckled foresty vibes drive us forward into the wild darkness before a surprise melody of vermilion light shoots through the trees and gives us something to shake our hips to. A very good track. And our first one with a melody smash that's continued on throughout the album. Morichino next to tell us about that Lavazza Spirit. Sounds a bit like a coffee brand making a coffee commercial, and good. Because you need more coffee? Go on, get some. It'll help you watch more news and get all anxious and worked up into a storm of tweeting your feelings about things. Maybe you want to tweet about this track's energetic vibes. Perhaps your opinion on its hyper-intense acid attacks swirling through the bass line. Retweet your feelings about its rough-edged oakwood lead that barks through the other elements right towards you. Tweet about anything. I don't care, as long as it has something to do with me, because the more relevant I feel, the more powerful I become. This track is non-stop energy, and a favourite so far that feels like it's already given you a full track's worth of energy right before the halfway point, but gives you one whole bonus half of energy after that. God, I love energy! Coal-powered energy. Oh look, it's the Triquetra brothers. These boys are psychedelic demon men, and no, I'm not saying that they are the kind of demon men who drink the blood of children after performing sex rituals. But I'm also not saying that they aren't. Do you see? This is called responsible reporting of both sides of the aisle. Oh look, it's an anonymous donation from the Triquetra brothers, who are definitely not child-eating demon pedophiles, and I detest any statement to the contrary, and any organisation that suggests otherwise can like and subscribe to my channel and then go the fuck to hell. The track is great. It's Triquetra, and as usual you can feel all the energy behind the track production just oozing out, like the sweet, sweet, delicious flavour of child blood. Okay, now over to our panel of talking heads to discuss Galactic Wisdom.
Everyone, I have to say I disagree with everything you have all said wholeheartedly and completely.
See, do you think, this is the problem with this country. You try and have a civil conversation with some questions about the thing, and all of a sudden everyone loses their minds, and the ones that are alright, they can't help themselves but get all angry and worked up, and they're doing the tweeting, but welcome to the 21st century. And I'm like, hey,
You know what, Peter? You know what, Peter? Peter, you know what, Peter? Hey, you know what, Peter? You're a nutbag. You're a nutbag and a crank. You're a crook and a crank. That's Peter, you're a crook and a crank.
So I take it that everyone thoroughly enjoyed the bassline, dripping drops of liquid ecstasy in the background, and non-stop lead lines that develop and drive this track into a fury of energetic particles.
oh yes, and opinions that was given to me to think.
Very good, very good. Well, it's time for the weather. Over to you, Weatherman. Hi, and welcome to me at the weather. There isn't much going on by the way of weather, but as soon as there's a wildfire in California, a monsoon in Japan, or a landslide in Thailand, I'll be sure to let you know. And you better believe that I'll tell you to expect thunderstorms on a Saturday afternoon that will actually be full of sunshine. I'm the Weatherman, and if you still listen to me, that's your own goddamn fucking fault. This just in, Narziss and Goldmund are bringing a firestorm of eclectic acidic energy. It causes tsunamis in Afghanistan, earthquakes in Australia, volcanic eruptions in the Arctic Circle, drought in the rainforest, and if you dare suggest that any of that has something to do with climate change, my friend, my sponsors are going to be very upset with me. Please don't. These days, they're all I've got. Huh? What's that sound? Ratings going down? We're losing ratings? Shit, quick! The people have demands. Should we give them hard-hitting journalism? An unbiased approach to the truth? Stop treating them like fragile china who need to be protected from making their own minds up about the events of the world? No, no! Let's give them entertainment. Let's give them Morioun. This head-banging melodic hit piece should entertain the people. Or are the people not interested in a non-stop barrage of power being smushed into their faces? Is that not what pleases you fickle fuckers? Well, I don't believe it. And even if it were true, it wouldn't matter. Because I don't need to listen to you. You need to listen to me. Because I'm on the television at 6 PM every night to fill you with existential dread the second you get home from your soul-sucking job. Because a battered down and beaten population is my favourite kind of population. And Lactera Rex has my favourite groove from the album. The melody is the gift that keeps on giving, with the little stresses of pitch that are placed at the end of certain loops, making the whole thing feel real and alive. Naturally, anything real must be altered immediately by me at the news, so enjoy it while you can, nutsuckers. Close to the end of the compilation, it must be time for a segment to remind you that everyone is a bad person except for us. Yes, it's true. Be scared of everyone who isn't you. Ah, fuck it. Just be scared of everyone, even yourself. Who knows what you might do next?
Do something violent. Do something violent. Do something violent. We need each other. We need each other. We need each other. Say something trans. Say something violent. We need each other. We with each other. Fight with each other. Say something trans.
The Weird Wizard and Zoon, get it? They bring a mechanically industrial forest vibe forward, and it's full of metal nuts, natural nuts, gears and interconnected tree roots. Sounds slide around from all directions and easily confuse your mind, which kind of pisses me off, because I'm the only one here that should be directing your attention and confusing your mind. But these fellas are also in on it, and that makes them
a competitor.
Competitor alert! Time for a hit piece. This just in, Zoon and the Weird Wizard are not cool, are not popular, hate women and think that you shouldn't spend the rest of your life loving the government. Of course you should love the government. They pay us. This track is a brilliant mix of copper tree roots, hanging steel vines and microchips of falling leaves amalgamated on the bronze smelter of the forest floor. Aside from Marza here, let's make things easy and just call them the Slars. Don't like it? Too fucking bad. We can call who we want, what we want, when we want, because in case you forgot, me and my team of demon producers are above reproach. Unless someone has a recording of me grabbing an intern's bosom, in which case I would like to remind you all that they are a lying horror. Now I know that it's unbecoming of a journalistic organisation as respected as this one to take a position, but gosh dang it. I've only heard 2 tracks from these trance monsters and I'm in love. I love them so much that even if it was discovered that they successfully ran the largest scale child sex trafficking cabal in modern history with the direct aim of compromising the elite forces of the world, I would not tell you anything about it. Even if they were personally murdered by a Prince of England in a jail cell, I would still not tell you about it. That's how much I like them. And no, it has nothing to do with a picture of me placing my penis over an intern's shoulder as part of a hilarious hazing prank that I would like to remind you all has been taken very much out of context. And our final segment for the night brings us to Hada. Who is Hada? And what's his position on the Nazis? Don't worry about that. Just worry about our deliberately misleading interpretation of his opinion. It's easier. He throws a waifu conversation in the mix just because he can, and it works, then turns the whole track into a jungle ritual of lost worlds. A true discovery, made here, by us. See, we have value, we tell you things, you like being told things, don't you? Yeah, you do. The intensity doesn't let up. Just like our coverage of any minuscule, unimportant bullshit topic, to keep your attention away from the fact that the people in charge of the world are a bunch of incompetent fuckwits who have no idea what the fuck they're doing and are purely tolerated by the population specifically because we'd rather talk about cancel culture and queer people. Later in the track, Hada just says, fuck it, I'm gonna build this motherfucker up into chaos. And everyone knows, we endorse chaos. Sometimes, we create it. So clearly I enjoyed this album, but as I am an impartial judge of information, allow me to be partisan. Well, fine, because they're a new label, maybe it's worth pointing out that they could have a look at how their tracklist shows up once the music is downloaded onto a device. Sure, I can easily find the album and artist, but the artists themselves lose a slot in my phone, which makes seeing the full track title and artist name difficult from a mobile device. And maybe the people would like to see that information a little bit more clearly and have a more structured artist and album search functionality on their phones. And is that too much to ask from you sons of bitches? Or are you too busy sucking on my intern's nipples? Well, kiddos, you just earned my goddamn respect. Fun and exciting bombastic music from Kandiszucker Records, and negativity with redundant analysis from the news. I'll see you, wage slaves, next time.
10, MSNBC, Channel 7, ABC Australia, ABC America, The Sun. Please find my demo tape for your very respected news organization. I would like to apply as an anchor at your respected news organization. Thanks you, and go and fuck yourself.